I am Yuji, a personal trainer. Abdominal muscles can only be fully developed by training them from 4 directions. Well, that's what I always think. I also believe that strengthening the ability to engage the core is fundamental, whether it's for recovery or to supplement the waist. That's my perspective and direction regarding recovery. Typically, when it comes to training the abdominal muscles, I think people start with contracting the rectus abdominis, which is just one of the 4 directions. This is a type of crunch, and in this case, the contraction runs from the top to the bottom, connecting from here to here, but the lower part is not moving while the upper part is contracting. This contraction from above is one method, and it is certainly necessary and important. The upper part is being shortened while the lower part is engaged but not moving. The other method is the opposite, where the contraction occurs from below. Contraction from the knees is a type of abdominal exercise where the contraction comes from below, even though I'm stopping at the top. This is similar to a 2-up movement. It creates a state of contraction from below, or what is called a half-gig knee-up, which involves exercises like resting on your elbows and lifting from below at the gym, or hanging from a bar and raising your legs, which also involves contraction from below. Basically, the first point is the contraction from above and below. Well, of course, there are exercises that work from both above and below. You contract and extend from both directions. The first and second methods involve contracting from above and below, which is certainly important, especially since the rectus abdominis runs in this direction. So, exercises that incorporate such contractions become the main focus. However, I believe that this is not the only approach. I also think that exercises at a 90-degree angle for the core are necessary. The load coming in at a 90-degree angle is being resisted. Well, it is necessary to engage in strength training to develop that muscle strength. One example is the plank. There is a plank in this position. In this case, while the weight is applied on this side, the support is coming from below on this side at a 90-degree angle. There are different types of this, including the regular plank and variations where you lift one arm at a time. There are various types of plank exercises, as well as renegade rows using dumbbells, which fundamentally exert force against the core at a 90-degree angle. Regarding the plank variations at this 90-degree angle, I have my own perspective. When performing the plank, some trainers may instruct you to pull your stomach in tightly. However, as I mentioned earlier, I have a different approach. I always recommend doing the plank in a vertically extended position. This applies to everything, including the current alternate plank. The reason for this is that when you perform it in a contracted state of the rectus abdominis, the more you get into that position, the easier it is for other muscles to engage, such as the external obliques and the internal obliques. This can lead to a situation where those muscles are more involved. So I want to focus on using the abdominal muscles more effectively and avoid letting those other muscles take over. One is the plank. As we just did, it allows the muscles to exert force in a state of isometric contraction. The question is at which point the muscles should exert their strength. Should it be at the point of contraction, or should I suggest that you maintain a strong vertical stretch while doing the plank? I believe it is better to increase the level of strength exerted when the muscles are elongated. The reason is that when you are standing in your daily life, you are in this posture, and it is precisely because you can stabilize your body in this position that you can maintain a good appearance. However, if you cannot do this, you will end up in a poor posture. When standing, you are not necessarily in a state of having your stomach contracted. Therefore, the purpose of doing the plank is to maintain this form, in order to create a good posture and to prevent slouching or having a sunken stomach when standing. I think it's better to incorporate exercises that allow you to exert force in this position. So for the plank, create a closed position while extending vertically. I believe this direction is preferable. Therefore, in the case of plank exercises, please perform them by solidifying in an extended position. I have introduced 3 methods so far, but there is one more for the 4 directions. The additional one is a deep vertical position. This is about the muscles involved in the recovery of the core. First, we will talk about the squat. Typically, in a squat, you carry a barbell while performing the exercise. You squat down and stand up while holding the barbell. By carrying the barbell, you are holding weight above you, which creates a vertical load that compresses you from above. I want you to develop the strength to lift against this vertical compressive load. While tightening the body, the goal is to heal it. This is the purpose of using recovery. In the case of squat, even when the bar is placed on the shoulders while standing, there is already a load on the body. The more you squat down, the more the strength of the abdomen increases. Therefore, you are carrying the weight. At this point, it is still manageable, but the lower you go, the more difficult it becomes, and some people may struggle. However, to avoid losing at this point, you need to use your strength to keep it tight while lifting. Stretch the tibialis against this depth. For that, it's better to do squats. There are also Bulgarian squats, and you can also opt for Bulgarian squats. Instead of a gun, you hold a dumbbell. Well, this is a bit light right now, but when you do it in this state, the legs and glutes are important, but holding this puts a significant weight on this part of the shoulder. Personally, I find that my energy is really at its limit after about 10 reps, as I am using quite heavy weights. So, I hold this dumbbell. When you do this, you're putting a lot of effort here, but to be honest, I really tighten this area and this area significantly. If you don't do this, your body will just collapse. That's right, it will just go down. And when you hold a dumbbell, if your body tends to sag during the blue owl set, it's not just your legs. Your core is weak. In any case, the strength of your core becomes extremely important. So, while Bulgarian squats are taught for the legs, they are also a very important exercise for developing the strength needed for vertical depth in the abdomen. Furthermore, when performing the shoulder press, if done without proper focus, it can lead to a significant loss of abdominal strength, causing the body to lean excessively backward. Alternatively, if the abdominal muscles are completely relaxed, the lower back may overarch, leading to a significant imbalance. Well, regarding the shoulder press, the strength of the abdomen is extremely important. The more weight is lifted overhead, the more force must be exerted to stabilize it. This means that there is a need to exert force against the weight from above, both vertically and horizontally. These exercises focus on developing the strength to stabilize and extend against this vertical load. The question is, why is this necessary? I think that contractions from below, like those in crunches and glute exercises, are necessary for building a six-pack. However, the question is whether that alone is sufficient. It's about the abdominal muscle. The main goal is not just that, but fundamentally to maintain posture. This is extremely important for recovery, as a protruding belly can lead to poor posture. Such a posture not only looks unattractive, but also makes one more susceptible to back pain and can lead to a category of issues. It is not the most comfortable position for the body. When you do this, your body struggles more. By stretching and lifting up, the body can enter a more comfortable state. This is where we should aim to be, especially for those in their 40s and 50s. When the core strength is weak, it leads to a lack of tightening power at a 90-degree angle, which can result in this kind of posture. Some people may even end up in this state. Therefore, it is not just about creating contractions from above and below, but also about training the abdomen through plank exercises or tightening and extending against weights placed on top. It is important to incorporate these strengths simultaneously and to train from 4 directions. While it is not necessary to do all of them at once, it is essential to keep this in mind. There is a chair designed to comprehensively train the abdominal muscles throughout the week. So, when doing the squat, for example, it's important to think about how it also engages the core. While the legs are the main focus, it's also beneficial for the abdomen. I hope you keep this in mind. By training from 4 directions, the abdominal muscles can be fully developed. This development is not just about appearance, it's about enhancing functionality as well. As you all continue your training, consider not only the contractions from above and below, but also include the vertical aspect of the core. I would like you to form exiles. This is something I particularly want people in their 40s and above to do. Let's do our best. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm also on Instagram, so please follow me. The parts are by the trainer musician.